right, welcome back. In the last video, we set things up so that we could drop the items, or at least remove the items, excuse me, that are in the hotbar. And when we left off, we had a little error, a little problem. When we selected the item and started hitting Q, it would count down to 1, and it wouldn't go below 1. Well, now it does, and I'll show you exactly why. It was a little mistake, tiny, very minuscule mistake. When I was setting this struct, I'm gonna hold on. I'm gonna recollapse these, recombine that. Okay. When the item count was 0, would go to 0, which is when this this condition was when they're equal or less than here. It goes to the regular path, but when it's equal to or greater than, in other words, this quantity we want to remove is greater than the count, it's going to move it to 0. It's going to come down to this one. I had this quantity plugged into the index. So when it came to this one, it was trying to do it to index 1 instead of index 0, which is where we had the items. That was the wrong value to plug into there. I pulled this one in. It should have been the index, not the quantity. That's all that was wrong. So that's fixed. So now what we want to do is, when we do that, we want to drop that floating item in place so that it can be picked up, or if it's not, it'll despawn. So how are we going to do that? Well, do that over here in the player character base. When we call remove item, we actually need to do something here. We actually need to return that item so that we can deal with it and get the blueprint and stuff. So we need to have an output. Let's create an output, and it's going to be an item, an inventory item struct, or just an item struct. We don't need the inventory item struct. We need the item struct. Well, actually, because we can have a quantity here, let's change that to inventory item struct. Inventory item struct, so that we have both the quantity that's dropped as well as let me pull this over here. We need that item. So let's get this, and we'll call it here inventory item. Okay. And the inventory item we want to return in both of these cases is, oh, actually, split. We need to break this. This one here is easy. We've removed that. Actually, what we want to do is we don't want to return the item that was what we want to do is return this quantity. And the quantity we have down here. I should make these local variables or something so that I can get to them. We need to make, so we need to pull this off here and go make, we need to make an inventory item to send back, because we want this quantity that we actually removed. Well, now this gets complicated. Let me think this through. So let's think about this. We removed a certain quantity of these items, and we either removed the quantity that we wanted or whatever was left. So in this one up here, we removed the quantity that we wanted to remove. That one's easy. And so that quantity is, here's a node where that quantity is. Let's plug that into count. And then let's take this inventory item struct right here and plug it into inventory item struct. Oh. So we don't have that, but we have the item here. So let's plug that item into there. And that'll return the item and the count that we dropped. This one down here needs to return whatever was already left in the item. So that's just going to be whatever inventory item was found. That's going to be this plus this. So we can put another return node, and whatever the item was is here. I'm just going to wire them up this way. First of all, I'm going to break this, split this struct pin, because I'm going to put this inventory item in here, and this count, which was what was actually available to drop, that's what we dropped. And we'll plug this into here. And I know this just got really messy. We'll clean it up later. Sometimes I just like to plug things together and make them work, and then we can clean this up and refactor it. It's not terrible, but so what I'm saying is that here we're going to return the inventory struct that we actually pulled, along with, when we're making that, with the quantity that we desired to pull, because that's what this did. This down here just dropped whatever was left. If we asked for to drop 5 items and there was only 4, that's what it dropped, what was available. So it's this item plus that remainder of that inventory. And so now from this function we get back an item struct that can tell us what we're going to throw on the ground. Okay, let's compile that and save it. Now let's go back here to player character base, and there's our inventory item. So what we want to do is split this struct so that we have an inventory item and an item, and now we got to split this struct pin again, because this is what we need right here, is this inventory item blueprint class. But we also need to figure where we're going to drop it, which is somewhere in front of us, probably where our thing is pointed. Or we could throw it out in front of us and let it fall. Actually, we could turn it into oh, this is an interesting opportunity. We can actually throw it. What we want to do is go here to our inventory items, and where did I put that under? Inventory? No, items. We have under items. Nope. Inventory must be here. Dropped item. So here's this dropped item. Let's make some settings on this dropped item. Oh, that's interesting. It's already set as movable. Interesting. Why is it on that and not on this? Okay. Let's go back here to our player character base. What we need to do is move these out here a ways, because we're going to do something else in here. Let's take this blueprint class and let's spawn actor from class. Plug this into here, and that's the class. And the return value is this BP object reference. And so we want to give it some add force, and the direction we want to go is we want to get the player pawn, get the movement component, get the forward, get forward. Okay, maybe it wasn't on the movement component. I sometimes forget where some things are. Forward. Get actor forward vector. That's what we want. And that force we want to apply is that forward vector. We'll see how fast and far this thing flies when this happens. Just applying the forward vector, which is like 1 in that forward direction. The spawn transform, we want to get actor location, split this struct pin, spawn transform location. We want to do it at the player's location, but we want to, let's split this struct pin and split this location struct pin. We're okay with the X and the Y, but we want the Z location, the up location, to be about 2 meters. So that's 200 centimeters. So it comes more or less off of our face and flies forward. I think that will actually, oh, we better hook this up or nothing will happen. Then we're going to add some force to it in our forward direction a little bit, and we'll see what happens as it flies out and falls down. Let's see what that does. All it can do is fail, right? Let's grab a few of these. And let's go over here and go Q. Oh, we got to select it. Q. Okay. What'd I do wrong? Player character base. Spawn actor. We're inventory item blueprint. Oh, that's not what we wanted to do. We want to, you know what? Our item needs to have another thing. It needs to have that drop item class. Okay, the reason those weren't happening is they were probably spawning inside my head and going nowhere because they're probably not movable items. Our inventory item Why were I getting some errors? Huh. Oh, that was probably when I tried to hit the inventory when it wasn't selected. We'll have to do something about that too. Um, Item base, item struct. This is the one that has, yeah, it's got this item base BP. What we need here is a new variable that we're going to call drop item. Blueprint class. And it's going to be a drop item class reference so that we can see what the class is. And for our Apple blueprint, we need to find that. Where is it? It's, I know these, it's a item description. That's the item blueprint. Why are we, did I not compile that? Inventory, no, not inventory slot. Item struct, did I not save it? Item description should have item struct. It's got all this stuff. Droppable item class. Let's save everything. Back to here. Well, let's close it and reopen it. Inventory, no. Items, Apple blueprint. Why am I not seeing it under this? Item struct. Drop item blueprint class. Dropped item. Dropped item blueprint class. It's right under the icon. Let's look at, okay, yep. Let's go to items here. Let's look at item base BP. This should have that. Item description. Default value. Oh, and there, it's there. Okay, yeah. I have to go back and recompile. I forgot. Got to recompile some things. Dropped item probably needs to be recompiled. It's there now. Okay. So now when we go back to Apple BP and compile, item description, there it is. And so we need that dropped Apple BP. Okay. Now we've got it. I'm going to do a save all. Now when we go to our inventory component. Where is it? There's the inventory component. No, not the inventory component. Player character base. There it is. What we want is not that. It's this inventory item, drop item blueprint class. This is the one that we want to drop. And it goes here. That's the class we want to spawn. Not the actual item. And we're probably not applying enough force. So let's go times vector times float, and let's give it, yeah, because that was probably 1 centimeter per second worth of force or something like that. Let's give it 100 and see if we see something go flying anyway. We should be shooting this thing pretty much out of our face. One Q. Oh, it's definitely spawned something into. Oh, they're right there. And they're not moving, and they disappeared. Okay, well, it is spawning them, but the question is, why are they not moving? Why are they not moving? Inventory items. Dropped Apple BP. Static mesh. It's set to movable. Where's the... There's the collision physics. Linear damping. Constraints. Enable gravity. Simulate physics. Let's try it again. See if they go flying this time. We might have to tweak the amount of force we're applying. 1 Q. Okay, well, Q. There it is. Q. Q. Oh, I'm all out. 1 Q. 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 They're all going to the same spot no matter where I'm pointing, though. Q. 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 Oh, looks like physics is enabled. They're sinking through the floor, apparently. Okay, we're going to have to work on this one a little bit. Oh, I multiplied it by 100 and never hooked it up. Also, we're spawning it here and we're applying a force. Get actor forward vector times 100. Add force. Okay, let's try it again with that hooked up. I'm applying a little bit more force to it. Maybe they'll actually move. 1 Q. 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 They're landing at the same place. Q. They're ending up in the same location. I wonder why. Player pawn. Spawn transform location. Rotation scale. Default handling. Wonder why it isn't spawning up higher. Player pawn, location, X and Y, Z of 200. Huh. Well, another thing that we can do is just you should be able to throw this thing out in front of us. It's appearing out in front of us. Why is it not spawning right at our location? We should be able to add force to that thing's static mesh. Huh. I'm going to put this back down to 1 and run one more test, and then I'll probably have to troubleshoot this again and catch up with you in the next video. But we're getting close. We are spawning into the world, which is good. We're dropping the item. If I hit Q on this, where did we end up? We ended up over there. If I hit Q again, it goes to the same place. No matter where I'm facing or how far away, they end up right there. And they end up falling through the floor for some reason. That's very weird. E. Grab a bunch of apples here. Go over here, way over here somewhere. 1 Q. They still spawn for there. It's almost like they're spawning at 0, 0, 0. In fact, that's probably where they are spawning. Spawn. Get player pawn. Get actor location. All right, well, I'm going to have to look into this and see what I'm doing wrong here. Clearly, I'm doing something wrong, and when I find it, I'll show you what it is in the next video. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you liked it, hit that like button. If you really liked it, hit that subscribe button. And if you want to get notifications when I upload videos, hit that notify button. Thanks, and I'll see you in the next video.